Long, long ago, in a town named Nazareth, where the wind blew gently and the trees said softly,
"Swish, swish, swish."
a man named Joseph lived with his wife Mary. They were a very special family and very close to God. In fact, God had asked Mary to be the mother of his son. He had sent the angel Gabriel to tell her of the plan and to ask her to be a very special part of it. St. Joseph would help too, because he had been chosen to take care of Mary and the baby. When the baby came, they would call him Jesus, just as the angel had said. One day, the soldiers of the king came to Nazareth, and the soldiers said,
"Everyone must go to the town of their grandparents. The king wants to count his people."
When Joseph heard this, he went to the soldiers and said,
"My wife Mary is waiting for a baby. It will be hard for her to travel."
But the soldiers said,
"Everyone must go to the town of their grandparents. The king wants to count his people."
When Joseph told Mary the news, he was very sad and worried. But Mary knew that it must be just another part of God's plan. And she said,
"Don't worry, dear Joseph. God is watching over us."
As time went by, Joseph spoke to the neighbors about the words of the soldiers. He said,
"My wife Mary is waiting for a baby. It will be hard for her to travel."
and the neighbors all said,
"This is not fair. We do not want to go."
Mary loved Joseph very much, and she saw that he was very worried. So she kept saying,
"Don't worry, dear Joseph. God is watching over us."
The date they'd go to Bethlehem finally came, and Mary and Joseph started the long journey to the town of their grandparents. They packed the donkey with all the things they would need and started out. The little donkey's feet went all the way down the road that led from Nazareth to Bethlehem. After a while, the trees began to blow in the wind, and Mary and Joseph could hear the trees saying,
"Swish, swish, swish."
in the night air. All through the journey, Joseph kept thinking to himself,
"My wife Mary is waiting for a baby. It is hard for her to travel."
so Joseph was extra kind. Meanwhile, the trees kept blowing in the wind, saying,
"Swish, swish, swish."
and the donkey's feet kept going all the way down the long road to Bethlehem. Mary and Joseph passed their neighbors on the road to Bethlehem, and the neighbors said,
"This is not fair. We do not want to go."
but Mary just thought that this journey must be a special part of God's plan, and she said,
"Don't worry, dear Joseph. God is watching over us."
and the little donkey's feet carried Mary and Joseph closer and closer to Bethlehem. The donkey's feet went. It was very late at night when Mary and Joseph reached Bethlehem, and Joseph had to look for a place to stay. He knocked at one door after another. Each time, he explained to the innkeeper,
"My wife Mary is waiting for a baby. It is hard for her to travel."
but the innkeepers all said,
"There is no room now. Go away. Go away."
Mary was very tired by this time, but she still said,
"Don't worry, dear Joseph. God is watching over us."
and the trees continued to say,
Swish, swish, swish.
and the donkey's feet continued to beat all the way down the road. Finally, one innkeeper saw how tired Mary was and knew that she would need a quiet place for this night. And so she said,
There's a quiet place there too if you can stay for the night. It is behind this inn. It is only a stable, but it will be sheltered from the night air, and you'll be able to rest there.
Mary and Joseph were very grateful, and they went to find the shelter that the innkeeper had promised them. They settled themselves for the night, while the stars shone brightly and the trees went
Swish, swish, swish.
in the night air. And the baby, that long-awaited one that God had promised, was born. And Mary and Joseph did as the angel Gabriel had said. They named him Jesus. Then they dressed him warmly and wrapped him in a blanket and tucked him into the manger.
Sweetly singing on the plain, and the mountains in
wonderful baby sent by God to some shepherds on a nearby hillside. The shepherds said,
Wonderful news! Let us rush to Bethlehem to see this baby.
The shepherds rushed to the stable in Bethlehem, and there, just as the angels had said, they found the Holy Family. The stars shone brightly, and a soft breeze blew so that the trees went
Sway, sway, sway!
When Joseph heard the trees, he was reminded of the way Mary had kept saying,
Don't worry, dear Joseph. God is watching over us.
Joseph would always remember these words, because now he knew how true they were. And as the children sing, we hope that you will tuck Mary's words away in a special place in your own hearts, remembering that God is watching over you too, not just at Christmas, but every day of the year.
Joy to